Yes, we all know the quality of makeup and skincare products are important, but have you ever thought about how you apply them is even more important for results? Since 2019, Anissa Beauty has been leading the way in creating vegan and cruelty-free makeup and skincare brushes that are safe for your skin and the planet and are designed to optimize the application and absorption of skincare products. Their popular Pinnacle Foundation brush has made such a big difference for me. I used to hate wearing foundation because it always felt so caked on, but with this brush, I can use so little product and it goes on flawlessly due to its patented triangular shape. Anissa Beauty's brushes deliver value and quality like no other. The same goes for their Pinnacle Skin Brush, which has completely changed how I apply skincare. I no longer use my hands to apply my products. Check out the Pinnacle Foundation brush as well as several other amazing brushes at anissabeauty.com and get 30% off site-wide with the code DATEABLE. That's ANISA beauty.com. And don't forget to use the code DATEABLE.
For us women, that time of the month can be the worst. The cravings, the bloating, and PMS. Ugh. Like I mentioned, I've been using Hormone Harmony to balance my hormones, and it's really helped with relieving my mood swings and just not feeling so off. Hormone Harmony contains science-backed herbal extracts called adaptogens, which help the body adapt to stressors like hormonal changes that happen naturally throughout a woman's life, which is why Happy Mammoth, the company that created Hormone Harmony, is dedicated to making women's lives easier. It has zero sugar and is gluten-free, dairy-free, non-GMO, and third-party tested. The product is so popular, a bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. For a limited time, you can get 15% off on your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code DATEABLE at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use the code DATEABLE for 15% off today.
Hello, friends. Time for a little quickie with yours truly, UA here. It's actually kind of funny. I was just thinking about how I'm in my quickie era right now. I know that we're not talking about sex in these episodes, but I am going to talk about sex right now because you can't say quickie without thinking about sex. But I am in my quickie era right now. I think quickies are very efficient, productive, and fun. And sometimes, when I have 15 minutes or I feel rushed, I get really horny. And it's like, let's get it done within a time limit. So yes, you actually did get a quickie with me because I do prefer quickies. But the quickie I want to do for this episode is about having things in common with someone and really focusing on having things in common. What brought this up was because I was talking to someone who was really heartbroken from a recent breakup. And she was saying, I'll never find someone like him again. We had so much in common. My follow-up question was, what else did you have that you're so heartbroken about? And she's like, we just had a lot in common. We were from the same small town in this state, and we both had 3 brothers growing up, and we both really liked the same kind of food, and we liked the same kind of music. And I was like, okay, so you dated your brother. What I find so funny about the statement, oh, I want to find someone I have a lot in common with, is that what you have in common with someone when you meet them, this mere stranger, is pure coincidence. It's luck, right? It's not like they molded themselves to be like you or you molded yourself to be like them because you didn't even know this person existed. So you both coexisted in this world and just happened to stumble upon the same things or the same upbringing or the same town or the same likeness for travel, whatever. But when we focus so much on commonalities, we forget that much of human connection and dating is about discovering new things and discovering new people and expanding our horizon. So there are a couple pitfalls with finding someone you have so much in common with. I think one, it's just kind of boring. Why would you want to date someone that you have that much in common with? Don't you want to explore other hobbies or music or food or attitudes or beliefs? And then the other pitfall is I think it makes us lazy in getting to know the other person. When you feel like you already know the other person, it makes you feel like, oh, I don't really need to ask all these questions because you have this preconceived notion that you already know this person. It actually gives us this false sense of connection and familiarity when we may not actually know them. I found this with a few of my previous relationships where I did focus on commonalities, and I thought that was so romantic that I could meet someone who I had so much in common with. And I realized in hindsight, it made me feel this false sense of closeness to them. And then when the relationship ended, I realized I didn't really know them that well. I just assume I did because we had, quote unquote, so much in common. So I think it makes us a little bit lazy. Ultimately, yes. I think it is nice to date someone who you have things in common with, but it doesn't mean that it has to be right off the bat. These commonalities can be developed over time. And I think that's what's so beautiful about relationships is that you do merge and create a life together and find and create these commonalities together as well. So what I would love for all of us to focus on, and I have to remind myself of this too, is don't look for the commonalities. Look for someone who is curious and interested in your interests, your hobbies, your belief system, your views on life. Not someone who's like, oh, yeah, me too. I feel that way too. That's just coincidence. But we want to be with someone who makes you feel seen and heard, right? And I do think that's why we do tend to like people we have things in common with, because in some way we feel like that makes us feel seen and heard. Oh, if this person has the same interests as me, it means I am accepted. I am seen in this way. But it's not what you have in common. It's the other person's attitude towards you and your life. So we want to find someone who is so invested in getting to know you, so invested in understanding how you became the person you are today. How did you come upon these hobbies or these beliefs? How you became the person that you are today that they want to be with. That's the person we want as a partner. And that's the partner we want to be too, is to not just assume all these things about our partner, but to constantly seek understanding, deeper connection, deeper empathy for the other person. And I think that will just make us more curious human beings and make us look for the right characteristics. What someone has in common with you has nothing to do with who they are, what their character is. If you both happen to like sushi, does that mean that person is a good person? No. But if you are, let's say you are just so obsessed with sushi and you meet someone who is like not as obsessed as you are, sorry, this is going to be a really dumb example, but if they're really invested to understand what is it that you love about sushi, they're so invested in, why sushi brings you so much joy, and it brings them so much joy to see you enjoy sushi. That's the person. That's our person, not someone who just happens to have the same taste in food as you. And I think it will just help us reframe what we're looking for in dating and also help us evolve and grow too. I know quite a few daters who have these deal breakers on, well, if they don't like X, Y, and Z, I don't even want to go on a date with them. What if we put it in this other perspective that we're talking about? Instead of thinking about like, oh, if they don't like if X, Y, and Z, I don't want to see them. I'm curious to see who they are, what their character is, how they make me feel seen and heard, how they make me feel special, how they make me feel around them. And I can forget about what our commonalities and differences are. When you are with someone who is just spilling over with curiosity and compassion and empathy and just respect for you, all the commonalities and differences are kind of just thrown out the window. It really doesn't matter at that point. It's an attitude we're looking for. It's this feeling of respect and being respected. So I hope next time when you go on the apps or meet someone in person, maybe not filter for what you have in common, but filter for that feeling. On an app, it's a little harder to gauge this, but in person, if you meet someone, do I feel like they are invested in getting to know me, to seek understanding of who I am? And are they curious to learn about how I became the person I am today? Can you vet in that way? And on dating apps, yes, it's a little bit harder, but maybe it is just a feeling you get from their profile. Does this person seem like someone who would be open to learning, open to understanding, open to showing interests and possibly developing interests with me? Is this someone I want to explore the world with, explore new interests, new horizons? That's so exciting to me. And I really think that's the foundation of a good relationship, is having that baseline of wanting to understand, wanting to expand, wanting to respect. And once you have that foundation, just pile on all the interests. And talk to anybody who's been in a long-term relationship or marriage. You don't need to have all those things in common. In fact, it's nice to have some deviations so that you have something that's of your own and they have something of they can own. And when you come together, you have interests that you share, but you don't have to share everything. And that shouldn't be the focus in dating. All right. That's my quickie. Hope that was satisfying for you all as it was for me. It was perfect timing for me, actually. Just perfect. Thanks for listening and keep us updated. If you have this new way of thinking about dating and finding a partner that is away from any sort of commonalities, have you seen any differences in the dates you're going on, the conversations you're having? Have you already been dating like this? And can you share your experience with us? You know where to find us. hello@dateablepodcast.com is our email. We're on Instagram @dateablepodcast. You can DM us there. Or as we always say, you can write us a rating and review in Apple Podcasts, 5 stars, please. And then in the body of your review, you can share your experience there. And better yet, if you pre-ordered our book, How to Be Dateable, coming out in January of 2025, we would be super happy. That's one commonality we should all have, is we should all have How to Be Dateable, the book. That's the only characteristic you need to look for in a date is, did you pre-order How to Be Dateable? Anyway, all right, that's enough. See y'all soon.